So thanks for coming out today. It's actually about blind and proud. Is anybody here that's blind? Anybody blind and proud? And anybody that's a friend and supporter of the blind and proud? All right, we got some extra dogs and canes back there for the parade, so you'll be able to join us. Okay, well, thanks for coming out. My name is Chris Downey. I'm the president of the board of directors for the Lighthouse for the Blind. And it's incredibly exciting to be here today to welcome all of you to be with us to celebrate the grand opening of our new lighthouse at 1155 Market Street. So, although I'm the president of the board of directors, and I might be a slightly old guy, I'm actually an 8-year-old blind kid. And it's full of all the energy and fun and excitement of being an 8-year-old kid. It's still learning the world and being part of it. And that first day when I lost my sight, I showed up at the door of the Lighthouse for the Blind as a client to get services, to learn all sorts of wonderful things, like how to drive fire trucks. Actually, to get around the city with a cane, to use technology, to read Braille. But more than just all the training and life skill that I got there were the people that I met there at the Lighthouse, the trainers, the people in the community. The Lighthouse is more than just training. It's a community center. It's the spot for the blind people of San Francisco and the Bay Area. And that's what 1155 Market Street is all about. We're an old place. We're 100 and how many years old? 112? Something like that. 114 years old. But we're not at the end of that 114 years. We're at the midpoint of 200 years and more. We're on our way.
That's right.
And it's all about our new vision. Yeah, the vision of the blind people, imagining what this can be. What is our new role in the city, in our lives, in our careers, and in public around us? And that's what we're trying to bring to life with all our new programs and the new opportunity at the Lighthouse at 1155 Market. And part of that is it's not just a new center, it's designed by the blind, for the blind. Our executive director and a lot of the leading characters in the design of this new facility, they're blind. I'm a consultant, I'm an architect that consulted on the project with our architects, Mark Cavaniero, Architects Associates. Are they here? All right, thank you, Mark. It's a collaboration of imagining a new process where the blind are part of the process of designing a new facility for themselves that works great. That's beautiful, that's engaging, that's meaningful and accessible. But it works for everybody. It's not just about the blind. Also, this is a new thing, and it's getting a lot of attention around the city, around the country, and internationally. With a lot of international press interest in what's happening here at the Lighthouse in San Francisco. And a new way of imagining architecture and space and services and what blind people can do. So it's wonderful to be part of this amazing opportunity of bringing that all together to life in our new center at 1155 Market Street, and to have everybody that's been a big part of that. So thanks to everyone that's been a part of it for all that you've done, and can't wait. So thanks to all the blind and proud and friend of the blind and proud. And I'd like to introduce Scott Blanks, Senior Director of Programs at the Lighthouse.
Hey,
Tom Hewitt.
Yeah, Tom Hewitt, got it. Oh, you're too kind. Well, good morning, everyone. Hello, Lighthouse family and extended family. I'm Scott Blanks. I'm the Senior Director of Programs here at the Lighthouse for the Blind. And my theme today is thank you. There are a lot of people who deserve thank yous. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you to the Lighthouse staff and volunteers who have put together a wonderful show for you today. I also want to thank a number of organizations and folks who have contributed hugely to what we are doing today and what we'll be doing for years to come. I want to say thanks to the Herbst Foundation for their support of our new headquarters. And I have a few names, so let's do this. I'm going to go through them, and then I want a huge round of applause at the end. Let's try that, guys. All right. Wells Fargo volunteers who also brought their stagecoach. I understand that you'll be able to go inside if you wish, take pictures. Wells Fargo has also been a wonderful contributor to our employment immersion program, a hugely successful Lighthouse program for years. Thank you, Wells Fargo. Also to Oracle. There's a volunteer support and partnerships with Oracle that we're really excited about. US Bank has supported our new Lighthouse headquarters. Woo! I'd also like to say thanks to Mayor Lee and the Board of the Supervisors of San Francisco, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. I'd also like to say thank you to the finest men and women in San Francisco, our police department, who are coordinating this Blind and Proud parade today. Also like to say thanks to BART, SFMTA, and San Francisco Rec and Parks. All right, this is the time, guys. Big round of applause for all of them. Let's hear it.
Let's not forget David Chiu, your assembly member.
Thank you to David Chiu, and you'll hear from David Chiu shortly. You know, I'm also here to say thank you sort of in a different theme. You know, the world has been assaulted and anointed with technology. It's around us. It's everywhere. Everyone is benefiting from it. And the Lighthouse is here to make sure that blind and visually impaired people are benefiting from all the wonderful things that technology has to offer as well. And one of the most beautiful things that I've seen happen in the past couple of years at the Lighthouse, and I'm confident this is going to continue, that this is one of the things that we are meant to do, is that we are being reached out to by some of the most influential developers, product innovators in the Bay Area, across the country, and across the world. We've worked with folks, and we haven't had to break down their doors. Many of them have come to us and said, we need your thinkers. We need your innovators to help us make sure that our apps are accessible, that our websites work the way that they should for everyone, and that the places that they might curate, whether it's a museum or a park, a transit agency, are accessible to everyone. And we've worked with some of the most wonderful, you'll recognize some of these names. We've worked with Google, Eventbrite, Salesforce. We've worked with Facebook. We've worked with Toyota Robotics. We've worked with so many places. The city of Calgary now utilizes some of our wonderful tactile audio maps to make sure that blind people in the city of Calgary can navigate their transit stations. We've worked with PG&E to ensure that they have accessible websites. We've made sure that the Federal Reserve Bank is doing good work. Names can go on and you know, I thought about it, but I'm glad I kept it in. Thank you for that wonderful response. And I could go on, I could list names all day. And what I really think the point is, though, is that we are an organization who is here to be a think tank, to be a place where the innovations that are happening in Silicon Valley and in San Francisco and everywhere else are ones that are being baked in with accessibility in mind, not as an afterthought, not as a quick fix at the end, because that doesn't work. And we want to benefit from these wonderful technologies, these avenues of evolution that are happening all over the world just as much as everyone else. So to those tech innovators and to all of the Lighthouse staff who work with those tech innovators and make sure that the museums and the parks and the websites are working for all of us, I want to say thank you. Let's give a big thanks to everyone. Before I go, I want to make sure that everyone has a wonderful time at the parade. When you're walking down Van Ness and Market Streets today, shout out how proud you are to be blind, or to be friends with somebody who is blind, or to support this cause, to support people living their lives in the way that they see fit and the way that they want to. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And I would like to introduce the Chief Executive Officer of the Lighthouse for the Blind and Visually Impaired, Mr. Bryan Bashin.
Thank you so much. What an amazing turnout. Let me just see who's here. Who here is directly from the city of San Francisco? Can I hear you? And who here is from the greater Bay Area? Can I hear you? And anybody here from outside California? Yeah. You know, don't forget Sacramento. Let's hear it for the Franchise Tax Board. Yeah. Now, this is amazing. We have come a long way since 15 women gathered together in 1902 to produce the Reading Room for the Blind, the first such place in the West. 15 people in the progressive era who said, we owe something to our community. And look at how far we have come. Yeah. There is one woman a little later than 1902 I'd like to acknowledge. It's my predecessor, who for 20 years kept the Lighthouse sound on an even keel and was able to produce solid programs and to save the money and keep the resources that allowed us to dream. So give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Anita Aaron. You know, yesterday, I saw a little microcosm of what we aspire to do. Just people sitting in our new waiting room, which you'll see in just a few moments. There was a woman who was taking her first Braille lessons. Somebody in her 30s knew that this is the way she's going to read. There's another woman taking her first cane lesson. There's a woman in her 20s, a graduate student at UC Berkeley, going on to get her PhD. And then I met a guy who just finished, a blind guy, who finished his degree in electrical engineering at Sonoma State and is aspiring to get a job as an electrical engineer who's blind. These are just 3 random people we saw. And mostly, that's what we do, and what we always have done, and what we always will do at the Lighthouse is we teach. We teach people of all kinds, at all ages, youth, middle-aged, and seniors. But teaching is changing, and now we do it a little differently. We take blindness more seriously. We do it immersively. We do it together. We do it with a whole lot of fun. And the building you're about to see has a lot of spaces for fun. We have a kitchen designed so that 12 students can cook together and get into trouble together. We have a fitness center where people will do everything from yoga to aerobics to acupuncture to Lord knows what in there. And that's really something that's been very popular to us. We have a craft center so people can work seriously on crafts, not put them away, do the arts and crafts that has been a long tradition in the Lighthouse for the Blind. And we have many rooms where computers are going to be taught not just PCs now, but tablets and iOS devices and all kinds of other devices, whatever is next. Upstairs on the 11th floor, you're going to see a room devoted to our science lab for STEM. We'll be doing everything from dissecting a shark to probably electrocuting each other. Okay. You're also going to be able to see up there rooms for other construction and a room devoted to an amateur radio station we hope to work with the city and county of San Francisco with for emergency services. So when will all this start? How about Monday? Yeah, if we can clean up from the 500 of you here, we're going to gather, and our first immersion will happen because we're going to have, for the first time in 114 years, the ability for blind people to stay over and do blindness intensively and immersively in our student dorms. I hope you check them out. You're going to see a greatly expanded adaptation store where people can, for the first time, everything we sell you can put your hands on. That will allow blind people to shop and choose and make decisions. You'll be able to see our expanded low vision clinic where our friends from the UC Berkeley School of Optometry will be there. Okay. And you'll be able to see what the Media and Accessible Design Laboratory, the MAD Lab, where we make maps that you can touch and talk. We make all kinds of things in 3D. You'll see a lot of signage we've created, the latest tactile stuff. We're a world leader on that, as Scott has said. So what are all these rooms for? We want to triple the number of students, and we call them students now, not clients, the number of students that the Lighthouse serves. Every week in the Bay Area, just in the Bay Area, 20 people become blind and need our services. That was much of the impetus to create the new Lighthouse for the Blind in order that we can have multiple classes, multiple teachers, multiple events, and do it with style and panache. So in addition to teaching, though, there's more. We know that we have a growing obligation to convene and to spark and to catalyze communities that are far beyond the blindness community. As Scott was talking about, the high-tech sector. Well, now our multi-purpose room will allow us to have events from up to 150 people, gather in style, connect, network. We had an impromptu thing. We opened the doors. I think the cocktail hour probably helped. And 100 tech workers from our neighbors, from Uber, Twitter, and all those folks just stormed in. We love that. And we need them. We need to co-design with them the technology of the future. We need to talk to each other. We need not to be in silos. That's why the new Lighthouse for the Blind is smack dab in the middle of mid-market, the growing hub for all things tech. Lighthouse has had a long tradition too. Since 2011, Dr. Josh Mealy and I founded Lighthouse Labs. I want to salute you, Josh. Lighthouse Labs is a place where every month we gather the best and brightest blind folks, technologists, sighted folks, people from big tech, and we talk and have conversations like available nowhere else. You know, the folks who come to us every day now, can you make this app work? How come this is broken? What about this device? We now have a place that we can dialogue, and we do think that is our destiny. You know, part of our destiny, too, and part of our past has been to be disruptive. And let's look at a little disruptivity. The great physicist Richard Feynman said, "Science is the belief in the ignorance of experts." Let me riff a little bit about ignorance of experts. In 1888, one of our progenitors, Newell Perry, was a young blind boy from the Central Valley, went to the California School for the Blind. Anybody here from California School for the Blind? He wanted to escape. He wanted to go to a straight high school in Berkeley. And the experts at that time said, it can't happen. No blind person ever went to a standard high school. He argued against the experts. He graduated from Berkeley High School. In 1892, that same person, Newell Perry, said, I want to go to the University of California. And the expert said, why would you want to do that? If you get an education, you'll just be unhappy afterwards because you won't be able to find a job. That was the standard expert feelings in the 1890s. Newell Perry went to UC Berkeley, got his degree, went on and got a PhD in mathematics from Heidelberg and became a noted scholar in mathematics. And that was just the start of his career. All right. Yeah. In 1938, probably one of the greatest experts on anything, William Wilson Campbell, the head of Lick Observatory, the guy who was the head of the National Association for the Advancement of Science, for 8 years head of University of California. William Wilson Campbell was losing his vision. And as an expert, he chose to do the thing that was prevailing in the 1930s. He climbed to the top of a 4-story building here in San Francisco and jumped and ended his life. That was not that long ago. And also here, let's get a little more recent. In the 1950s, as recently as that, students who came to school, California School for the Blind and others, went through their entire school background without the ability to use a white cane. The cane was considered disruptive, it could be dangerous. We've changed all that in the years past. In the 1960s, blind people were, the experts said, blind people could not enter the civil service. Categorically, the government argued against our ability to be civil servants. A key decision that was made by a blind person here changed that. We changed that together. Thank you. In 1977, the experts in health, education, and welfare, Joseph Califano, said, we don't know if we should regulate this new thing, this Rehab Act. It's going to be too complicated. It's going to be too difficult. And the disability community is not just blind, but all disabilities said, we won't stand for it. They marched and occupied a building 2 blocks ahead of me here, the old federal building. They occupied it until the Carter administration signed those regulations, largest occupation in the history of the disability movement and of the United States. In 1984, a little outfit down in Cupertino had an idea, and they decided to come up with a computer that actually had a graphical user interface, the Macintosh. The experts said, this will never talk. This is the end of the way God intended computers, with a command line interface. Within a very short time, people, mostly here in the Bay Area, got the Macintosh talking, and it's been talking ever since. In 2002, there was a proposal I was part of to have immersion retreats for seniors. These are old people who wanted to address their blindness. They'd leave their home. They'd learn Braille. They'd learn cooking. They'd spend time away. People said they'd never do it. Seniors can't learn this blindness stuff. We started that in 2002, and throughout Northern California, senior retreats now, including the LightHouse's retreat, have taught thousands of seniors the skills and proper attitudes about blindness. Yeah. In 2003, the experts at the San Mateo County of Child Protection Services heard about a couple who just delivered a newborn son. Nothing wrong with the son, nothing wrong with the parents, except they were both blind. The experts said, we got to take the kid away from the parents. Thanks to the extended community and the American Council of the Blind, that decision was reversed. In 2007, the same little firm in Cupertino came out with a kind of phone that had no buttons. People said, this would be the end of telephony as we know it. They actually were right. Anybody got an iPhone now? Okay. In 2012, the folks at Coinstar, we asked at the LightHouse, the folks at Coinstar, what about those 30,000 kiosks around that sell DVDs, red boxes? We can't use them. And they said that would be impossible. We can't make that talk. We can't put buttons on these things. We're just a poor $5 billion company. Well, we work with Redbox, and last week, I'm proud to say, we saw the first talking accessible Redbox. 3,000 of which will be rolled out across California in the coming months. So today, the experts say that in the year 2020, a nice year, 10 million self-driving cars will be on the streets of the United States. 10 million. But the experts say, and the insurance people say, those cars will need a steering wheel and a licensed driver. What a heartbreaking end to technology. I have a feeling the LightHouse will have something to do with making sure those things can be driven independently by blind people as well. Today, the experts in the consumer electronics field say it's too hard to take all those touch screens that adorn our dishwashers and washing machines and stoves and disable perfectly able blind people because of inattention. They say it's going to be too hard to retrofit or too hard to design for blind consumers. I have a feeling the LightHouse is going to be doing something about that in our future. The LightHouse in the 21st century must challenge these ideas. We must be optimistic. We believe in each other. In fact, it is what we do. We are the shared humanity. We believe in each other's ability to grow. I learned Braille at age 39. I'm giving you this speech from paper Braille hard copy. The folks that I learned it from, some of them didn't think that somebody as late as 39, I know that was only a year or two ago, could learn Braille, but here we are. So, in a half an hour or so, you're going to see the new LightHouse. You're going to see the physical manifestation of the hope and love and aspiration of our community to soar higher, to demand more of ourselves and of the society in which we live. But if you want to see the real LightHouse, I ask you, don't look at the glass and steel. Don't look at those beautiful acoustic things that Chris Downey and others designed. Don't look at those teaching sites and the playfulness and the warmth and welcoming. Instead, I invite you to look to your left and look to your right and see the people here who are compassionate and caring and innovative. These are the people who have been, who are, and will forever be the LightHouse for the blind. Thank you. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce a man who I first met in our old LightHouse building Yeah, he came back. Our Assemblyman, David Chiu, 17th Assembly District, has been working in Sacramento now for a number of years on things that affect many of us. How about affordable housing, just to start? So at this time, it's my honor and privilege to introduce member of the Assembly from the 17th District, David Chiu.
Can we first give it up for Bryan, your CEO? Is the LightHouse in the house today? Do we have any Warriors fans here today? I want to thank you for being warriors for our blind community. All of us can see or feel the sun today. I think the sun is shining on the LightHouse today in San Francisco. I've been honored to represent you in the California State Assembly, but I have to tell you that it is more important to me that the LightHouse is in the center of my Assembly district. There are so many reasons why we have all come this morning. Some of us have come this morning because the LightHouse has been on the vanguard of creating history and a revolution for our blind community here in our country. 114 years ago, in 1902, in the basement of the San Francisco Public Library, this organization was started and has done so much work over 114 years for the 750,000 Californians that have a visual disability. You have been leading a revolution. The fact that we have an organization that is staffed by our blind, that is designed by our blind, and that is led by our blind, you are leading the way. And I also have to say that you are leading when it comes to innovation. You heard from your CEO of what you're doing with technology. Years ago when I was on the Board of Supervisors and we looked at the mid-market area and thought about what are the ideas, the companies, the nonprofit organizations that could be leading the way, the fact that you're going to 1155 Market Street could not make me prouder. But I also say all of us are here for our own personal reasons. When I was 6 years old, my mother realized that her son, me, was having trouble seeing. I have, for 40 years in my life, worn Coke bottle glasses or contact lenses so that I could see. And I've always thought that for those of us who are in elected positions who may have the gift of sight, we owe it to those of you who may not have that gift to be fighting for you. And we have so much work to be done because, as we know, Section 504 is not enforced everywhere in our country. We have work to do. We also know, when I worked at the Board of Supervisors in meetings in your old office, we need to make sure that everyone in San Francisco who is blind and visually impaired not only has a roof over their heads, but has a job to go to in the morning. And as someone who, my wife will tell you, I'm not the best driver in the world, the idea that we may have self-driving cars on our streets soon, but require a steering wheel behind every one of these cars, that doesn't make sense. We need to make sure our self-driving cars are on the streets of California and the United States as soon as possible for everyone who is disabled or is a bad driver like me. And let me just close with two final thoughts. I happen to be someone who thinks that our blind community not only should be sitting at the dais of our city commissions, but maybe someday someone from your group ought to be representing us as elected leadership. And one final observation. I can see the beautiful diversity that is the enormous crowd we have here at City Hall today. But in case you can't physically see the hundreds of us who are here today, like our NBA championship Warriors, there is strength in numbers. And when we come together, whether we can physically see, whether we are blind, or whether we are visually impaired, I want to thank the Lighthouse for leading the way because you are helping us all see. I hope in 114 years today, when we are celebrating yet another anniversary of this incredible organization, we say to ourselves, it's because of the Lighthouse and because of the leadership of all of you that we can all see. Thank you for being here.
And of course, to build a building, 40,000 square feet, $20 million construction project requires a few shekels. And we have been supported every step of the way by our bankers, and I'm very happy to have Brian O'Melveny and David Jones. Brian O'Melveny is Regional Vice President for Commercial Affairs at U.S. Bank, and he's going to say a few words for us. Brian?
Brian, thank you. I'm the shekels guy. I like that. I like that a lot. But no, thank you. Seriously, thank you for the opportunity provided to U.S. Bank to support LightHouse with the financing for the new headquarters and the Blindness Center. Brian, you and your team and the board of directors have done a fantastic job, and we're really honored to be part of the transaction, part of the new center, and it's such a great association. We appreciate the trust and the camaraderie. As our CEO, Richard Davis, had noted in a recent Wall Street Journal article, a bank is the heartbeat of every community in which it operates. Our purpose is to keep communities growing, and we are only as strong as the communities in which we operate. So LightHouse, with its support in Northern California since 1902, is a perfect channel for U.S. Bank's continued investment in this community. So thank you for letting us be part of this investment. Thank you for the trust. Having closely been involved in the process with the U.S. Banks providing the debt and equity, our team, if I can speak on behalf of our team, appreciates the time, the thought, the analysis, the angst, and the satisfaction that you and your team, Brian, went through to get this project completed. So congratulations on delivering this tremendous resource to the community and to the community of impaired and the family. Thank you very much, Brian.
Yeah. Thank you. You know, it takes a village to do the kind of work we aspire to do, and a key partner to the Lighthouse is the California Department of Rehabilitation. Thousands and thousands of blind people have been helped along their way in education, training, and work seeking, job seeking through the Department of Rehabilitation. Many years ago, I met a fellow a blind guy who did it all, who started in a farm, shoveling out cow stalls in the Central Valley as a blind guy, did every possible job the hard way, worked his way up, and now presides over a department which has 2,000 employees and spends $500 million a year on people from all disabilities in order to have them achieve their aspirations. It's my great pleasure to introduce a mentor and friend, Director Joe Xavier.
So I'm assuming this is on. Well, first of all, Brian, thank you for your very kind words.
A little closer, Joe.
Move closer? Is that better? Better? Okay. God, I've never been accused of being soft-spoken. That's a first. So greetings to everybody. Brian said I can take 2 hours, but before a siren comes by or your feet give out, I'll keep my comments short. First of all, I'm very honored to be here, to be part of the commemoration of the Lighthouse's huge success here. Congratulations and acknowledgments to Brian and the rest of the team leading the Lighthouse, to the board, to the team that has worked very hard to make all of this a reality today. Helen Keller once said that worse than being blind was having no vision. Today's event exemplifies vision. It exemplifies the vision that the Lighthouse has had. It exemplifies the vision to consumer services, to the families of those that are served, and more importantly, to the community and to the society that benefits from the Lighthouse's services. Whether blindness was acquired at birth, as a civilian, or in service to your country, we all seek the opportunity for employment, for independence, and for equality. Today, blind and visually impaired listen to sirens as they go by. Quickly. All right. Today, blind and visually impaired are attorneys, architects, administrators, and chief executive officers. They have various careers in the STEM fields, and yet they still face a 70% unemployment rate and a workforce participation rate of 20%. The Lighthouse provides the leadership on the state level to our advisory committee, helping advance programs for the blind and visually impaired. It partners with numerous organizations, including ourselves, the Department of Rehabilitation, and it provides services to older individuals who are blind in 4 counties in Northern California. The Lighthouse is a strong voice in finding innovative and creative ways to advance both the programs and the services that help the blind and the visually impaired. And they work very hard to set the expectation that blind people can do and can achieve. They provide the learning opportunity that allows expectations to be met, and they develop the skills that are necessary to achieve those employment outcomes. Promoting the confidence of an individual is key to the success of that individual, and supporting the full realization of anyone's potential is really done when they have that meaningful job. What the Lighthouse does is enable the blind to go where everyone else has gone, to enjoy employment, to enjoy independence, and to enjoy equality in community and in society. Congratulations on your new home. Congratulations on expanding your capacity to serve the community and its needs. Thank you.
Okay, some of you may have noticed that stagecoach just across the way. That is not a new form of paratransit. But it is a nod to the past. In 1918, when the Lighthouse moved from one of its locations to another, Wells Fargo brought the that stagecoach, to help with our parade and our move in 1918. And here they are again. There are many Wells Fargo's volunteers here today to help with the parade. There are many Wells Fargo's people who have helped with our employment programs. They have been a donor. And at this time, I'd like to invite Greg Morgan, Regional Vice President, Wells Fargo, to speak just a moment.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. Well, again, we've had an opportunity to hear from a few folks. David's comments and everyone else's were so great. I will tell you, this is the first time that I've had a chance to really learn about the Lighthouse. And when I look out, I'm learning things every time I come to an event like this. I look out and I see these beautiful signs that say blind and proud. I see signs that I may be blind, but not to the issues. I see all the Lighthouse signs and all the shirts, and it really rings true of what Brian said. This is a community. This isn't just a group. And I also learned that your new home is just that, and that we don't teach clients and we don't work with clients, but rather we teach and work with students. When I look at, again, across the plaza here, and I know not everyone can see it visually, but just like the Lighthouse, it's a one-of-a-kind, and you look across, and what I'm seeing is a one-of-a-kind. And again, it doesn't just happen. It happens because of all the hard work of people in this crowd and the people that make up the Lighthouse board and the leadership. That's why it's an organization that we're proud to be a part of and work with. Bryan mentioned 98 years ago taking part in it, but really in the last 15 years, again, monetarily supporting the Lighthouse. But I'm just as proud as the volunteer hours and the volunteerism that goes in with our team members of teaching folks, getting them ready for those jobs, not just, again, getting them somewhere, but getting them to be self-sustainable. That is the goal for every single one of us, regardless if we're blind, regardless if we're visually impaired, or if we can see. Again, I would just end on this. As an organization, much like all the organizations, be it US Bank, be it Wells Fargo, be it anyone, we are all proud to be a part of the Lighthouse. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Bryan. Bryan, thank you and congratulations on the beautiful new community.
San Francisco is blessed with an outside presence in the U.S. Congress. Nancy Pelosi has represented our interests nobly and well for so many years. And to represent her office today, I give you Alex Lazar.
Thank you. Congresswoman Pelosi is in Washington today. I am honored to be here on her behalf. See many friends in the audience, Jonathan Lyons, and thank you for Assemblyman David Chiu's remarks. Paul Henderson is here as well. So Congresswoman Pelosi says, "Dear friends, congratulations on the grand opening of the new Lighthouse headquarters. I am delighted to join the Lighthouse community and the greater San Francisco community in celebration of this momentous occasion. For more than 100 years, the Lighthouse has been serving thousands of blind and visually impaired youth, adults, and seniors throughout Northern California. The San Francisco Bay Area is grateful for the services and programs you provide to promote the equality and self-reliance of people who are blind or visually impaired. Please accept my warmest congratulations as you celebrate the grand opening of your beautiful new headquarters, a facility with innovative spatial and acoustic design that is fully accessible for people with low vision. Best wishes for a festive parade and open house celebration. Nancy Pelosi, Democratic Leader." Thank you.
Congresswoman Pelosi mentioned innovation, and innovation is going to be the solution for many of the things that daunt us as blind people, but it also will be the solution in many of the things that daunt us as citizens having to access services and government. I've come to know our next speaker well as we worked on many mutual projects. At this moment, it's really my pleasure to introduce the Deputy Innovation Officer for the City and County of San Francisco, Krista Canellakis.
Hi everyone, good morning. It's such an honor to be here to celebrate Lighthouse and all of their contributions to really making this city great. Jane Jacobs, the wonderful urbanist, said, "Cities have the capability of providing something for everybody only because and only when they are created by everybody." But how do you create a city that is truly responsive to the community, that harnesses its creative potential, and that is human-centered? Lighthouse is a source of innovation we rely on in the city to build a better city. Via the Mayor's Startup in Residence program, Lighthouse provided invaluable expertise and feedback to develop the world-leading San Francisco Airport indoor navigation system, which has created a model for blind travelers to become more independent when making their way around the airport. And we hope that expands throughout the airport and really across the world. We have also looked to LightHouse and their technology expertise to feedback in helping our city departments to continuously improve their apps and websites so that they are accessible and easy to use for all residents. And now, we are working creatively with the LightHouse to be really proactive about designing the city's digital services the right way, really from the start, where city departments can find ways to include blind user testing in early design. Through close partnership with the city, LightHouse will make San Francisco a leader in accessible and inclusive government online services. Few cities in the U.S. or even around the world have access to a center of excellence like the new LightHouse. We are so grateful and proud to be partners and neighbors with Bryan and the whole LightHouse community and all of you today. We are looking forward to showing that, the city that knows how also knows how to innovate with the blind community. Thank you.
We are so happy to have so many partners in the city and county of San Francisco. And we're very pleased that the Mayor Lee's Chief of Staff, Paul Henderson, will be here for a brief moment and a presentation. Paul?
Thank you, Bryan. Thank you. Thank you, Bryan. Oh, you do have. Oh, excellent. Yes. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Excellent. Well, am I the only one that got tricked into coming down here because I thought I was signing up for my driverless car? I thought we were having the announcement. I was ready to sign up and get in my car and not have to drive ever again. And I see a stagecoach. So I'm super excited to be here today on behalf of the mayor. And I also just want to acknowledge it's not just me that's here, and you hear in the background that we have our emergency services here. Everybody's celebrating this opening for the LightHouse for the Blind today. We even had a helicopter moments ago that wanted to celebrate with us. So one of our Board of Supervisors members was here to celebrate as well, Malia Cohen, so I just want to acknowledge her. Let's give her a round of applause too. Yeah. I think the whole city is excited about this work and about the future and about what LightHouse represents for all of us as San Franciscans. My name is Paul Henderson. I'm a fourth-generation San Franciscan. I've seen this city evolve. Yeah, let's clap for that. All right, yeah. I know, I say I'm from here, and I'm like a unicorn now. But the history that the LightHouse has served in this city exceeds even me and my family. The LightHouse is one of the city's oldest philanthropic organizations that started back in 1902. That's before the earthquake here in San Francisco. And now it is one of the city's most vibrant and exciting centers for change and represents what the future looks like for all San Franciscans. And so there's a natural resonance here for the LightHouse building. I just want to talk a little bit about how we got here today and the new center at 1155 Market Street, because the LightHouse gained $6.8 million in 2015 through a federal new market tax credit program. And that went directly into the construction cost for these new headquarters that we have. And thanks to the LightHouse, over 5,000 blind and visually impaired San Franciscans now have access to the latest technology, training and mentorship that's available in the world, right here in San Francisco. I'm excited because this makes us a center, not just to focus on disability, but also tying together the communities from the nonprofit communities, the tech communities, the philanthropic communities, and that's a big deal. I love that at this building, we reference everyone as students in the stores, and they have stores where you can actually touch everything that's in there. Because let me tell you, that was not my experience as a child. When I went into Gomps, I was told the opposite. Paul, you do not touch. And so I welcome a building here in San Francisco where children can go and where adults can go, where you can touch everything and learn about the community. Yes. And so looking forward into the future, what the Lighthouse is going to represent is more than just a think tank, but it's going to serve as a source of innovation for the rest of the city, and it's going to involve a symbol, not just for leadership in the city, but for all visitors from other states and nation, and 21st century solutions for Lighthouse of the Blind, and that's what I'm really excited about. And just to culminate that excitement, I have before you a proclamation that has been issued from the mayor's office here in San Francisco. And so from Mayor Ed Lee, I'm going to read to you. Yes, let's celebrate that. And I'm going to read part of the proclamation. Whereas the city and county of San Francisco traditionally recognizes the achievements of notable organizations and the dedicated work of Lighthouse for the Blind and Visually Impaired, that's what represents San Francisco values at its best. And whereas the Lighthouse for the Blind and Visually Impaired offers training and support for people of San Francisco beyond those of who are just blind or have low vision, therefore be it resolved that Edwin Lee, Mayor for the City and County of San Francisco, on the occasion of the grand opening of the new office happening today at 1155 Market Street, do hereby proclaim today as Lighthouse for the Blind and Visually Impaired Day in San Francisco. Yes, yes. And so given this day, given the history starting back from 1902, today will forever be recognized in our history books as Lighthouse for the Blind Day, and even moving forward, this will remain. So I'm super excited. I'm super grateful to be here today. I'm so looking forward to the opening and the ribbon cutting and the celebration and the hands-on approach to our 21st century approach at Lighthouse for the Blind. Thank you all so much. Welcome to San Francisco. Super excited.
And now for our final speaker of the morning, I want to introduce you to a person who has led much of the creativity around the new community services at the Lighthouse. The classes, daytime, nighttime, beer halls, crafts, all kinds of places where no blind people have ever gone before. I want to introduce you to the Director of Community Services for the Lighthouse for the Blind, Lisamaria Martinez.
Hello, Lighthouse community! We are gathered here today because we all know that it is respectable to be blind. Today we are marching because we are blind and proud. March with us. Be proud with us. Join us across the street in the plaza and let's get in formation. The band will lead us down some of San Francisco's iconic streets. Hold your heads high, walk with your long white canes and guide dogs with pride. Come parade with the Lighthouse and show the world that we are blind and proud.